Fast fashion isn't free, our planet is paying for it.
The term fast fashion is used to describe the accelerated process of turning new design ideas into clothes. This means that retailers can create new trends quicker than ever before. But this convenience of cheap clothing has come at a cost to the environment. Fast fashion is one of the planet's top 10 polluting industries, and it's in our hands to end with this worldwide problem.
Textile industry is the most polluting after the oil sector. According to the UN, it produces 10% of carbon emissions and 20% of CO2. To produce some pants, you need approximately 10,000 liters of water, a much greater amount than a man would drink in 10 years. The materials that make up the pants like polyester, nylon, or acrylic pour up to 500,000 microplastics annually in the rivers that end in the oceans. And each time the life of each garment becomes shorter, with the intention of consuming more and more. But it is not only contaminated when manufacturing clothes. Keep it clean too. Each wash of clothes made with polyester and acrylic sheets thousands of toxic plastic fibers that reach the ocean. Washing 6 kilos of fabric relies 100,000 polyester and cotton blend fibers and almost 700,000 acrylic fibers. The Greenpeace organization launched the Detox Campaign initiative. It analyzes and evaluates the level of commitment that companies have made for the elimination of hazardous substances from their production process and products, also their suppliers.
While fast fashion describes clothing that is cheaply made and intended for short-term use, sustainable or ethical fashion is the opposite. It takes into account the full life cycle of the product, from the design, sourcing, and production processes. Right now, there isn't one brand that's currently capable of covering everything, but there are a couple issues being addressed in the fashion industry. Water usage. The demands for fresh water for drinking and agriculture is far surpassing what's available. It's true that the earth is covered in water, but most of it is unusable salt water or has been polluted. As a result, some brands are now looking at the supply chains to see how they can cut back and how much water they are using. Hazardous chemicals. These chemicals may not affect the consumers, but they're a problem for the people who make clothing and those who live in areas where it's produced. Fashion and outdoor brands are now tasked with coming up with new ways to address dyes and finishes for features like wrinkle resistance and water repellency.
Short life cycle. The biggest goal in sustainable fashion is to buy less and use things longer. To make clothes last, there are platforms for clothes sharing, brands that promote buying and clothing, and simple yet durable styles that you can wear over and over again. Agriculture. Natural fibers like cotton are often grown using pesticides and treatments that are harmful to the farmers, workers, and wildlife area. There are now more options for organic cotton, linen, and other fibers available, which also use less water than a conventional growing method. Plus, brands are looking at being organic throughout the production process, not just the growing of the crop, which is only the first step.
After seeing this information and making this research about the garment industry, our way of seeing the clothing industry changed completely because we did not know the pollution problems that have been causing over time. We must reduce our compulsive way of buying clothes. Not knowing what contaminates the production of clothing, we did not realize the great damage caused to the environment. We believe that now, buying clothes has to be done more consciously. Big companies must change the way they produce clothes.
As a team, we are concerned about this situation because we weren't informed about these kind of problems that fashion produces. We will try to use clothes that are made with materials that don't produce a lot of pollution to the environment, and also that don't require a lot of water to produce them. We also want our friends and community to know more about this issue, because such as us that we were not informed, it's possible that people near to us like family won't know. A lot of people won't do anything if they don't know what's happening with the fashion industry. We want to create awareness in our social media and invite our friends to share this information with their families, and so that this way big companies like Zara, H&M, Bershka, and some other begin to change their ways in producing clothes, using other type of materials, using less water, and not leaving their waste in oceans and rivers. And as we proposed in our possible solutions, we have to begin by something small to get to something big.
With the investigation of this video, we saw how the textile industry contaminates at gigantic levels. We never thought that clothing would contaminate so much and all the harmful materials it contains. It made us reflect on our consumption of clothes and the measures we should take to help the environment.